Om Shri Sadgurave Namaha. Hello viewers, Jai Guru. Today I am going to share from one of my articles I had written about 10 years ago on the underlying idea for writing which came from the fact that in India it occurred to me Lord Ram and Lord Sri Krishna. They are two deities or gods who are worshipped by millions or even we could say billions all over India and its diaspora were spread all over the world. Now, they are said to be incarnations of God. So, did they teach something, leave some hints about the necessity of inner meditation, which is found to be discussed profusely in the literature and saying of sages? But did these incarnations of God also have something to say about the necessity of inner meditation? That was the main idea that drove me to explore and prepare this article. Yeah. I'm going to read this, the first part of this today, and second part a bit later. Mahatma Gandhi, as he led the non-violent freedom struggle against the British rule, always dreamt of the Ram Rajya or the rule of Ram ushering in India upon its winning independence. In Ram Rajya, Ram's rule, it is said none suffered from either of the three categories of afflictions, namely Daihik Tap, that is the sicknesses or diseases of the body like fever, typhoid, cold, cough, etc. Bhautik Tap, distress caused due to other bhoot or creatures like snake bite, scorpion sting, mosquito bite, etc. And Daivik Tap, that is natural calamities or acts of God like severe flood, earthquake, tsunami, etc. During Ram Rajya, it is said that people suffered from none of these three types of afflictions or woes. However, Ram Rajya, even as 76 years have elapsed since India got freedom from foreign regime, has been a distant dream for us. Here, a couple of pertinent questions that could be posed are: is it really possible to realize Ram Rajya in life? And if yes, how? Having vanquished the demon king Ravana, who lived and ruled in Sri Lanka, and completed 14 years of exile, Lord Shri Ram came back to the city of Ayodhya and took over the reins from his younger brother Bharat. A story that is well known and has been very exquisitely depicted in the epic Ramcharitmanas, authored by Goswami Tulsidas ji, and in Sanskrit Ramayana by Valmiki ji. All the citizens were perfectly happy under his rule. None had any kinds of troubles, woes, diseases, anything that could traumatize them. But the trillion dollar question that loomed large over Lord Ram must have been whether his subjects would remain as happy as they were even after he decided to wind up his Leela or role and depart this earth? Or would they remain as happy in their future births also? With an aim to teach his subjects, his citizens, the secret to eternal happiness, he convened a general assembly of all the people of Ayodhya in the presence of his teachers and other eminent citizens and told them, "You are indeed immensely fortunate to be blessed with the human cloak, something that eludes even gods and goddesses. Seeking sense gratification is not the prime goal of human life, as even heavenly pleasures are very short lived and ultimately result in sorrows. The greatness of this unique human body lies in the fact that it's a home for accomplishments of all persuasion, and that there is a gateway to liberation that lies hidden herein." This was what Ram told his citizens. Quite naturally, a curiosity arises as to what and where is that gate Lord Shri Ram referred to as being located within our body. And if not sense gratification or other worldly pursuits, what then is the real goal of human life? Lord Ram exquisitely addresses this question to his dearest disciple Hanumanji in the Muktikopanishad, one of the Upanishads, when he says, "Why to churn out the various scriptures in vain? Strive, O Hanuman, to explore within you the inner radiance, the inner light." Now, this is a clear instruction to practice the Drishti Yoga or the yoga of inner light. Subtle hints to which could also be found in the Ramcharitmanas of Goswami Tulsidas ji. At the start of his 14 years exile, we know this story because his father had given word to one of his wives, the youngest of the three, Kaikeyi, and when time came, she asked that Ram be sent to 14 years exile and her son Bharat be given the rule of Ayodhya. Dashrath had no choice but to oblige. So at the start of his 14 years exile, Lord Ram arrives at the hermitage of the renowned sage Valmiki ji, who incidentally had authored the first epic narrating all the feats of Lord Sri Ram much before he had incarnated. Now, during his exile, Lord Ram arrives at the hermitage of renowned Valmiki ji and requests him to suggest for them, that is, Lord Ram, his wife Sita, and his brother Lakshman, a suitable place to reside for an extended duration, that is, about 14 years that were to follow. Says Valmiki, a truly enlightened being that he was, and had a penetrative gaze, he looked at the true form of Shri Ram and metaphorically asks him, "You ask me, O Ram, to suggest a place where you could reside. I hesitate to ask, tell me a place where you are not, so that I could tell you where you could live." That is, he was hinting at the all-pervasive nature of the true form of Shri Ram, not the bodily form which was standing before him and asking the question. And then he says that you should reside in the devout hearts of those who crave to have a look of the radiant form of yours, who utterly disregard the various wondrous, mesmerizing spectacles of the macrocosm and instead get elated and content at beholding the radiant point form of yours. What says Valmiki implied indirectly is that God resides in the heart of those who practice the yoga of inner divine light and try to meditate within on the infinitesimal radiant point form of God by conversing or joining the currents of vision otherwise scattered in the two eyes and the banks of senses, into a point, an absolute point, which has got no dimensions, length, breadth, or depth. Thus, we behold the point form of God. Should there be any doubt on this interpretation of sage Valmiki's quartets, Lord Sri Ram himself clarifies the issue in the Uttarkand, the last chapter of the Ramcharitmanas. That is, continuing with his address to his citizens who he had called to assemble in a place, he says that their true benevolence, how it could be achieved. He says, Aurau ek guput mat कहूँ तुम्हें कर जोड़ी शंकर bhajan बिना नर भगत न पावई मोर, which means that one secret clue I narrate to you with folded hands, that without worshipping Lord Shankar or Shiv, none would have my grace. This is the literal meaning of the couplet I recited now. However, this explanation sounds hardly convincing and leaves one dissatisfied. The question that continues to linger in the inquisitive mind is that Ram says, one secret thing I am going to narrate to you. I am going to share with you a secret. And then he goes on to say, if we go by the literal meaning of the couplet, that if you don't worship Lord Shiv, you will not have my grace. So, what is so secret or esoteric information that is implicit in this interpretation, in this translation? It's a common knowledge that the adored deity of Shri Ram was Lord Shiva and the vice versa. That is, Lord Shiva worships Lord Ram while Lord Ram adores Lord Shiva. So it's but natural that Lord Sri Ram would be pleased if he finds anyone sincerely worshipping his adored deity, that is, the Lord Shiva. It doesn't sound secretive or mysterious even to an ordinary mind, leave alone Lord Sri Ram. What's more, we find that even though some characters of the Ramcharitmanas like Lakshmana, Hanuman and Angad, who are so close and dear to Sri Ram, openly threaten their enemies like Ravana, Meghnad, etc., to kill them, even if 100 or 1,000 Shiv came to their rescue. Why them? While assuring the estranged friend Sugriv of his support, Lord Sri Ram himself takes a vow, I will kill Bali, who was troubling Sugriv, who had threatened his life, with a single arrow, and he won't get refuge anywhere, even if he seeks the safety of Lord Shiva or Lord Brahma. So it seems very logical that there must be some other hidden meaning some secret clue that Lord Ram is trying to point at. Sadguru Maharshi Mehi Paramhans Ji articulates so exquisitely the esoteric aspect of the above couplet. He says that the Sanskrit or Hindi word kar means hand as well as ray of light. Goswami Tulsidas Ji himself has used the word kar in this sense, that is, meaning light, elsewhere in the Ramcharitmanas as well as in his other books of verses. For example, Vinay Patrika. While paying obeisance to Guru in the first chapter of the Ramcharitmanas, he describes the Guru as a Ravi Kar Nikar. Ravi means sun, Kar meaning ray, and Nikar means group of rays or number of rays. So Ravi Kar Nikar there means rays of sun, and he describes the Guru as the rays of sun, that is wisdom, to destroy the thick darkness of ignorance. So the phrase kar jodi, which ordinarily or literally implies joining or folding hands, might also hint at joining rays. When we join the currents or rays of sight in the two eyes into a point, the third eye, the 10th door, or the single eye of the Bible opens up. Maharshi Sant Sevi Paramhans, the most eminent disciple and successor of Sadguru Maharshi Mehi Paramhans Ji, said in one of his discourses that since Lord Shankar had himself practiced this bhajan, this way of meditation, to unveil this third eye, which is there hidden within each one of us, this form of bhajan or meditation could be called Shankar Bhajan, which is why the third eye is also often referred to as the Lord Shiva's eye or Shivanetra or Rudraksha, eye of Shiva. Furthermore, another name of Shankar is Shiva, which means benevolent. Benevolent. If we look at the couplet now from this angle, the hidden meaning would come to the fore, become obvious. In fact, Lord Shri Ram is trying to present in a veiled way that secret way to technique of devotion which can really please God and bring upon the devotee his true grace. So the above couplet could also be construed to mean that unless one tries to practice the Shankar Bhajan, that is, the truly benevolent devotion, by joining the two rays of sight into a radiant point, he would not have my grace. And yes, now the puzzle seems exactly to fall into place. Therefore, here there is a clear hint, and this is something secretive, this is something mysterious, which is not obvious to most of the people. And that is why I said that I am going to share a secret with you. This is that secret. And now everything seems so logical. So here there is a clear hint. Here also there is a clear hint at the need to practice the yoga of inner light, for it enables the seeker to visualize the tinier than the tiniest radiant form of God and get entry into the kingdom of Ram or Ram Rajya. Maharshi Sant Sevi Paramhans adds another angle to the above couplet of Goswami Tulsidas Ji to buttress its hidden import. He says that Goswami Tulsidas Ji has not made much distinction between the two types of phonetically close alphabets, namely Sa and Sha. Sa and Sha. The word Sankar or Sankar refers to a cross or hybrid form of two dissimilar castes or things. The rays in the two eyes are also known as two yogic veins or psychic nerves, namely Ida and Pingala, or the sun and the moon. One of the two is hot or dominant in dark propensities, and the other is cold or fidgety or worldly propensity. These two dissimilar currents lying in the two of the psychic veins in left and right, Maharshi Sant Sevi would articulate, could also be taken to be of negative and positive polarity. When these two negative and positive or hot and cold currents meet or join into a point, Sankara Bhajan, hybrid or crossbreed bhajan is effected, and a luminescent point appears that catapults the perceiving soul from darkness of ignorance into the light of wisdom, from the gross plane into the astral plane, from the mortal planet into the divine world. As the 10th gate or the Shiva's eye is uncovered, access is gained into the divine kingdom, the heavenly kingdom, the realm of light, making such a naturally endearing making such a soul naturally endearing or lovable to God, inviting the latter's grace. The next part of it will continue in some other presentation. Hope you liked this part of the article. Thanking each one of you for your patient listening. I'll be soon back with the next part of it. Thank you so much. Namaste. Jai Guru.